Hello, love. What are you up to?
I'm just pruning this fuchsia, which I'm not proud of at all. It's one that my mum gave us, but over summer, or over the last couple of weeks, the batteries in the irrigation ran out and everything dried up, and I didn't notice until all the leaves dropped off. So it's getting quite a hard prune back. We'll give it a feed and it should be ready to go come spring again, hopefully. Anyway, sorry Mum. This is our indoor jungle. We call it our indoor jungle because all of our indoor houseplants ended up out here if they got a bit sickly or neglected, but also because we always wanted a tropical garden. So our inspiration for that was when we went to New Caledonia, and they had, in one of the hotels there on Isle of Pines, they had this beautiful tropical garden inside the bar that just had a big hole in the roof, and these giant palm trees were growing up through it, and all of this beautiful undergrowth like bird's nest ferns and bromeliads, and a nice little water feature and rocks. And so yeah, that's what we're aiming for here. We've got quite a few Dracaena in here. This has to be my favourite, the lemon and lime. Look at that colour. That is beautiful, and it's growing really well in here. It loves it. It's perfect for conditions for them under here, with really bright light, high humidity, nice and sheltered. And being in Auckland, we're subtropical here, so we are lucky enough to grow these plants outside in the right conditions. We've got about 5 different types of Dracaena in here. We also have lots of little wee cuties from the warehouse. So the bird's nest fern and the silver lady ferns here are both wee cuties from the warehouse. That bird's nest fern will prune up because it's been nailed by slugs this summer. I didn't slug bait them, and it's got a lot of new growth in there ready to go. We've also got some pitcher plants up in the hanging baskets here, and a few different types of orchids and bromeliads. We've got some epiphytes, so plants that like to live off other plants, hanging off the baskets here. So the Phlebodium blue star, that's a reasonably new one, and it's beautiful. Look at this foliage. That's stunning. We really love that look. And we've got a staghorn on a log underneath. Got a hen and chicken fern here, some maiden hairs which are wee cuties as well. And heading down this way, we have the flowers there, I should mention, the dark purple tractor seat plant. Ligularia, that's the one. So they're actually really easy to propagate from seed, so I'm going to collect that seed and we'll hopefully grow a few more of those for spring. We've got the Strobilanthes Persian Shield here. Look at that foliage. That's stunning as well. So those are actually just in pots. So what we're going to do is plant them in, but they've grown out the bottom of their pots. So I'm going to take some cuttings off the top because we're going to have to trim it anyway since we're damaging the roots. So I'll show you how to do that. And while we're here, we've got a few hibiscus. The black one is a perennial hibiscus. The back one, sorry. It's going downhill now because it's going to drop all of its leaves and die down, and it'll come back from the base next summer, quite late in summer too. We keep thinking it's dead, but they come back quite late, about the same time that the other hibiscus start to look better in the season. And we've got one poking through in the ceiling from outside. Down the back there we've got some asparagus fern, which you can hardly see because of the Tradescantia, or the wandering dew, has completely taken over. And up the pole there we've got a Hoya, which has even got a flower to show you. There it is. They smell incredible, really sweet, and the dew coming off them in big droplets is actually quite delicious. I don't know if it's edible, but some dropped on me yesterday and I had a taste and it was delicious. No wonder it gets covered in ants. We've got calatheas in here with this little palm. I've forgotten what this little palm is. It's looking a bit worse for wear as well. But everything's going to get a clean up and a tidy up. And down here we're doing something interesting with the vines on the back wall. Have a look at this. So we had this idea of trying to form a bit of a vine wall to protect all of these plants. So a lot of these plants are planted by hardiness. So the hardiest ones are near the grass, near outside, and the ones that really don't want any frost on them are right in by the deck. So we've grown these vines up and wrapping them around the hoop here, and eventually I want to cut this hoop out and we'll have just a straight vine twisted hoop there, which will look incredible if we can train it along. So this one is a Pandoria Golden Showers, really nice yellowy bronzy flowers that come out in spring, and the next one is a purple Hardenbergia, which also comes out in spring. And those two colours together, I just love it. Just love those two colours together. So it looks great in spring, and I'll show you here what it looks like. Right now, before we start tidying up, because the whole garden needs a good tidy up, I'm going to pull out a lot of this Tradescantia. And before we get onto that, we need to take some of these cuttings. I'll show you what I do there. The cutting mix that I use, I'm just using my mix that I made up for the cactus when I repotted some cactuses. So it's pretty much half and half of a really rough sand and potting mix. You don't usually take cuttings in autumn because you really want the heat for them to put roots on and develop. So that's why I'm doing an extra free draining mix, so it's not going to hold any water around them to rot. They'll be under irrigation, so will still be watered regularly. And I have taken cuttings in autumn before and all of them made it, so that's why I'm going to do it again. So what we do here is I'm going to take it about there, make sure you're right under a leaf node and above a leaf node. These we've got quite a lot of leaves, so make life easy. Oh look, a little praying mantis. I'll put him back. Wait, come here. You can go back on there, mate. Get off. Back in the garden with you. There we go. Okay. And then next thing we do, take those leaves off. all the stuff that we want under the dirt. So we always want more under the dirt, more stem under the dirt than above it. So probably about that many. And then these, I'm just going to cut in half because they're a bit big and we don't want the cutting to have to try and provide moisture to all those extra leaves. So that should be enough for it to be happy. Like our pot, which is all reused. Grab a stick out of the garden. Actually, this mix is a bit dry. Might need to pre-wet it. Fill it up, press it down. I'm going to put 2 cuttings per pot in here, and then pop them into the seedling house where it's nice and warm and humid, and hopefully they'll be happy in there. So yeah, I'll get on to giving this a clean up. We'll speed all of that up for you and then show you what it looks like when we're all done. Welcome back. I am all done. I've been quite brutal to this garden though, because this wandering Jew, you've got to know, don't set that free in the wild. It is really quite aggressive. So I don't mind it in here because we've got lawn on one side, deck on the other side, and lawn on the other side, so it can't get away from us. And so I just ripped a lot of it out. But don't worry, next summer it will all be back just as glorious as it was. But now there's a whole lot of plants in there that can breathe and have got light to them again, and it's going to minimize a lot of the slug and snail problems that we have in here. And we've already lost a couple of plants from being smothered. But yeah, all round it's going to be a lot happier. And we've cleaned up the bottom of the dracaenas. They're known for their trunks, so we wanted that sort of tropical bamboo trunk type look through here. Yeah, and we've got a few of these. These are some little baby plants that came out. So this is off the hen and chicken fern. This is why it's called the hen and chicken fern. So it has multiple tiny little babies all over their leaves that weigh it down, hit the ground, and then they set root and just spread like that. So we trimmed all the old leaves off. I've saved all of these because I've got a garden that I want to put them in. I'm going to put them in the top of the white garden. Hopefully they'll be happy there and grow like crazy. And now all you can see is just a really nice new growth and a whole lot of new ones ready to come out. So now we'll get on to planting these few plants that we want to get in there, and then this garden will be all done. Oh, I was going to show you these, sorry. Little calathea that came off. There's a new little growth down there, so actually I might just pop that in a pot now so that you can see. That's why I had that there. With the toppers. Okay, how many of that? Now, I might just plant the whole thing as one, so as not to complicate anything. I'm just going to wind it around in there because each one of these segments will put down roots and should grow from that point. So I'm just going to cover it all down, try and get quite a lot of soil contact, and then a little bit of light for that little one to come up there. So that should be fine like that. This one came off the cordyline black magic here. So let's pull off those. don't actually know if this is going to work because I haven't done a cutting of these before. And because that's probably a bit too much leaf for it to deal with keeping it alive when it doesn't have any roots. I'm just going to take most of that off and that'll have a better chance. And then if I wanted these to grow in a pot, you'd just place those on top. Even have a little metal pin, you could just pin them to the top of the soil. But we've got a lot of seedlings in there, so literally they only need to touch it and they'll set out roots. And this I just wanted to show you because it is a smoke bush baby and it is so beautiful. It's going out into the big gardens. We've had it in here just weathering, keeping alive and growing until we're ready to plant it. And there's a big old praying mantis on there. We'll go put her where there's some aphids. Alright. Cool, let's get planting. Alright, with our spade. Right. First one, you may as well plant this one right here. All of them have grown into the ground from the bottom of the pot. So I'm just going to loosen it up a little. So I want it to go there anyway. And I just don't want to damage the roots too much. Hopefully save as many as possible and it won't be quite as shocked. So as you can see, it's got a nice good root base on it. What way were you facing? Try and face the leaves the same way they were sitting, facing the sun the same way. Then they're a bit happier when they go in. One of those babies. It's already got roots on it. Put that over there. Oop, crunch. This stuff is so crispy. If you just put that even on top of the soil anywhere, it'll grow roots and go for it. So don't put it in compost. I think you have to put it in a bag for it to die, or like what we're going to do, we're probably going to put it on the fire pile and burn it. Or if you want some free cuttings, send me a message. I got plenty for you. Whoa. This one's really set in there. I think we're going to have to cut the bottom of that off anyway. Alright, that one's actually going to go here. This one. It's going to go under there. What do we think? How does that look? Yeah. Now I'm going to tuck it underneath this hibiscus because it's not there in winter anyway. That one might need a little in those roots into friction. Get rid of that sour. Alright, there we are. So we're all done in here. It's probably time for you to check your irrigation timers if you have any at home. Make sure that the batteries are still working, or maybe turn them down for winter. Now that it's colder, the plants will be drying out a bit faster and won't need so much water. Yeah, that's all from us today. See you next time.